Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel like you haven't slept at all? Or maybe you find yourself needing a nap just a few hours after breakfast. Not because you've done anything strenuous, but because you're simply worn out. If you're over 60 and feeling unusually tired, sluggish, or mentally foggy throughout the day, you're definitely not alone. In fact, chronic fatigue is one of the most common complaints among older adults. But here's the thing. Feeling tired all the time is not just a natural part of aging. We often accept this kind of exhaustion as something we just have to live with. But in reality, there are specific, correctable reasons why so many people over 60 feel drained. And most of them are hiding in plain sight. From low iron levels to thyroid imbalances, from skipping breakfast to light, poor quality sleep, there are many small culprits that sneak into your daily routine and quietly steal your energy without you realizing it. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 surprising but common reasons why seniors feel tired, and we'll walk you through practical, proven steps to feel more awake, more focused, and more alive again. You'll hear real stories, simple explanations, and small changes that can help you feel better starting today. If you've been wondering, why am I always so tired? This video is for you. And the answer isn't always age. Sometimes it's just a small thing your body's been missing. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, iron deficiency, the silent energy thief. Mrs. Lillian, a 76-year-old retired librarian from New Hampshire, had always been active. She loved tending her garden, walking to the post office, and joining her friends for weekly knitting club. But recently she'd been feeling off. Her legs felt heavy, her thoughts slower, and her breath shorter after just mild activity. "I thought it was just old age catching up," she said, shrugging. But during a routine blood test, her doctor noticed something very common and very overlooked, especially in older women. Low iron levels. Iron is essential to our energy because it helps make hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen from your lungs to the rest of your body. When iron levels drop, your blood can't deliver oxygen as efficiently. That means your brain, muscles, and heart are all running on low battery, leaving you feeling tired, weak, dizzy, cold, or even out of breath doing basic things like walking across the room. While iron deficiency is often associated with young women due to menstruation, it's also extremely common in people over 60, especially those who don't eat much red meat or have underlying issues that affect nutrient absorption, such as low stomach acid or chronic conditions like gastrointestinal bleeding, ulcers, or even taking certain medications like aspirin or acid reducers. And unfortunately, the symptoms often develop so gradually that people don't realize anything is wrong until fatigue becomes a daily companion. The signs can be subtle. You may feel tired even after sleeping well, or notice that your heart races during mild exertion. You might feel cold more often than others around you, have pale skin, or notice brain fog that makes it harder to concentrate. Some people even develop a condition called restless legs syndrome, where the legs feel uncomfortable or twitchy at night, another silent clue that iron may be running low. In Lillian's case, her doctor ran a ferritin test, a blood test that measures the body's iron stores, and found her levels were far below optimal. After a few months on a gentle iron supplement, along with eating more iron-rich foods like spinach, lentils, eggs, and lean red meat, she began to feel a difference. "I didn't realize how tired I'd become until I started feeling like myself again," she said. "It was like my body had been whispering, and I finally listened." So how much iron do older adults need? For most men and postmenopausal women, the recommended daily intake is around 8 milligrams, but many doctors aim higher when deficiency is present. It's best to get iron from food first. Think dark leafy greens, beans, liver, beef, tofu, pumpkin seeds, and fortified cereals. But sometimes a supplement is needed. Be cautious though. Taking too much iron without a deficiency can be harmful. That's why it's important to check your levels with your healthcare provider before starting supplements. Also, keep in mind that vitamin C helps your body absorb iron better. So pairing iron-rich foods with citrus fruits, bell peppers, or tomatoes can make your meals more effective. At the same time, try to avoid tea, coffee, and calcium-rich foods at the same time as iron-rich meals, since they can interfere with absorption. If you're feeling tired, foggy, or unusually out of breath, and you've ruled out poor sleep or lack of exercise, it may be time to take a closer look at your iron. It's one of the simplest blood tests to request and one of the easiest deficiencies to treat, often with life-changing results. Now that we've uncovered how iron deficiency can quietly drain your energy, let's move on to another hidden culprit that affects millions of older adults, but rarely gets the attention it deserves: your thyroid. In the next section, we'll explore how an underactive thyroid can slow you down, both physically and mentally, and what you can do to fix it. Number 2, underactive thyroid, the hidden hormone problem. Mr. James, a 72-year-old retired postman from Ohio, had always been an early riser. He enjoyed morning walks, tinkering in his garage, and reading the newspaper with a cup of black coffee. But over the past year, something changed. He began waking up tired, dragging through the day, and losing motivation for the little things he used to enjoy. His hands and feet were always cold. He gained 10 pounds without changing his diet. And worst of all, his thoughts felt slower, like he was moving through mental fog. After several months of feeling off, his doctor decided to test his thyroid function. And sure enough, James had developed hypothyroidism, or underactive thyroid. The thyroid gland, located in your neck, may be small, but it plays a huge role in regulating your energy, metabolism, brain function, body temperature, and even mood. When the thyroid becomes underactive, everything slows down. It's like someone turned down the volume on your body's energy switch, leaving you feeling sluggish, chilled, forgetful, emotionally flat, and just not quite yourself. Hypothyroidism is incredibly common in adults over 60, particularly in women, but it often goes unnoticed or is mistaken for normal aging. That's because the symptoms overlap: fatigue, constipation, dry skin, weight gain, depression, slow thinking, and even hoarseness. These changes may come on slowly and be brushed off as just getting older, when in reality, a simple blood test and treatment plan could make a dramatic difference. The most common cause of hypothyroidism in seniors is autoimmune thyroiditis, also known as Hashimoto's disease. But it can also result from past thyroid surgery, radiation treatment, or even long-standing iodine deficiency. Medications like lithium or amiodarone can also affect thyroid function. For some, it just seems to creep in naturally with age, especially for women after menopause. In James's case, his doctor ran a TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone test, along with free T4, 2 standard blood tests that check how well the thyroid is functioning. His TSH was high, indicating that his body was trying hard to wake up the thyroid, but the thyroid itself wasn't producing enough hormone. Once diagnosed, James was prescribed a low dose of levothyroxine, a synthetic thyroid hormone, and within a few weeks, he began to feel like himself again. It wasn't like flipping a switch, he said, but I noticed I didn't need a nap every afternoon, and I started enjoying my walks again. The good news? Hypothyroidism is very treatable. The key is recognizing it. If you've been feeling tired despite good sleep, struggling with memory or focus, or noticing unexplained weight gain, constipation, or even depression, it's worth asking your doctor to test your thyroid levels, especially TSH and free T4. These tests are simple and often covered by Medicare and most insurance plans. Treatment usually involves taking a small daily pill and having your levels checked periodically to make sure your dosage is right. For many people, once treatment begins, the fog lifts, energy returns, mood improves, and even body temperature normalizes. And since the thyroid affects the entire body, treating hypothyroidism can have a ripple effect on many symptoms you may have thought were just part of getting old. If your energy feels off in a way you can't explain, like you're moving slower, thinking slower, or losing interest in things you once enjoyed, Your thyroid could be quietly calling for help. It's not about fixing everything overnight, but about understanding that you have the right to feel better and that your body might just need a little hormonal support to get back in balance. Now that we've looked at how your thyroid can silently slow you down, let's explore something even more basic, but just as powerful: the habit of skipping breakfast. In the next section, we'll reveal how this one simple routine may be draining your energy before the day even begins. Number 3. Skipping breakfast, missing the fuel to start your day. Mrs. Carroll, a 74-year-old widow from Georgia, had fallen into a habit many seniors share: skipping breakfast. "I'm just not hungry in the morning," she would say, sipping only coffee until lunchtime. She figured it was harmless. After all, she wasn't trying to lose weight, and skipping one meal didn't seem like a big deal. But as the months passed, Carol found herself dragging through the late morning hours. By 11 a.m., she felt shaky, distracted, and sometimes even dizzy. She chalked it up to aging, until a nutritionist explained how missing breakfast was sabotaging her energy from the very start of the day. For older adults, breakfast isn't just a routine, it's a critical opportunity to fuel the brain, stabilize blood sugar, and set the tone for steady energy throughout the day. After a night of fasting, your body wakes up needing nourishment to restart the engine. Without it, your blood sugar can drop, your brain struggles to focus, and your muscles lack the fuel to function at full capacity. The result? Fatigue, mental fog, irritability, and a sluggish start that often lingers well into the afternoon. Many seniors believe that a cup of coffee is enough to get going, but coffee stimulates the nervous system without providing actual nutrition. In fact, it can worsen the effects of skipping breakfast by further disrupting blood sugar, especially if taken on an empty stomach. That mid-morning crash, when you feel suddenly weak or lightheaded, is often not from doing too much, but from not eating enough. What makes this worse is that many seniors already eat fewer calories than they did in their younger years. Appetite tends to decrease with age, and if breakfast is skipped entirely, the total daily intake of nutrients like protein, fiber, B vitamins, and magnesium can fall below healthy levels. These nutrients are essential not only for maintaining energy, but also for keeping your nervous system, muscles, and metabolism functioning properly. When Carol began making small changes, starting her day with half a banana, a slice of whole grain toast, and a boiled egg, she noticed a difference almost immediately. "I didn't realize how much sharper I could feel," she said. Over time, she began adding yogurt, fruit, and even oatmeal with chia seeds. Breakfast became something she looked forward to, not just a task to check off. The best breakfasts for seniors are simple, balanced, and easy to digest. A good rule of thumb is to include a little protein, healthy fat, and a slow-burning carbohydrate. That could be Greek yogurt with berries and a handful of walnuts, scrambled eggs with spinach on whole grain toast, or a small smoothie with banana, peanut butter, and flaxseed. These meals help stabilize blood sugar, support brain function, and give your body the foundation it needs to move, think, and feel better all day long. If you're someone who's not hungry first thing in the morning, try starting small. Even just a few bites within an hour of waking up can make a difference. Warm foods like oatmeal, miso soup, or soft-boiled eggs are often easier to tolerate in the morning. And if chewing is a challenge, consider soft options like applesauce, cottage cheese, or protein smoothies. Skipping breakfast may seem harmless, but for many older adults, it's a hidden drain on energy that builds up over time. It's like starting your day with an empty tank and expecting to make it to dinner without stopping for fuel. Your body needs and deserves that nourishment, not just to survive, but to thrive. So if you've been waking up tired or hitting a wall mid-morning, take a look at your breakfast habits. You may be surprised how much more alive, alert, and balanced you feel when you start your day with the right kind of fuel. Next, we'll explore another common reason seniors feel tired, even when they think they're getting enough rest. Because sometimes the problem isn't how long you sleep, but how well you sleep. Coming up, poor sleep quality, the light sleeper trap. Number 4, poor sleep quality, The light sleeper trap. Mr. Raymond, 78 years old and retired from a lifetime of factory work, used to say, "I'm in bed by 9 and up at 6. That's 9 hours of sleep, so why am I still tired all day?" It was a fair question. He followed a regular sleep routine and avoided caffeine after lunch, but he still woke up groggy, mentally cloudy, and physically drained. His doctor asked him a simple but important question: "Are you sleeping or just lying in bed?" For many older adults, the issue isn't how long they sleep. It's how well they sleep. As we age, our sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. We may wake up more often to use the bathroom, react to noises more easily, or toss and turn due to aches and pains. Even if we spend 8 or 9 hours in bed, we may be missing the deep, restorative sleep that our body and brain need to recharge. Deep sleep, especially slow-wave sleep and REM sleep, is when your body does its major repairs, restoring muscles, balancing hormones, and consolidating memories. But light sleep, which becomes more common with age, doesn't offer the same benefits. You might not even be aware that you're waking up frequently, but your body feels the consequences: fatigue, poor concentration, mood swings, and lower physical stamina. Several subtle factors can contribute to poor sleep quality in seniors. For starters, pain or stiffness in the back, hips, or legs can prevent you from reaching deeper stages of sleep. Medications like diuretics, steroids, or antidepressants can interfere with sleep cycles. Even small things like eating too late at night, having screen time close to bedtime, or napping too long during the day can throw off your internal clock. And then there's the emotional side. Grief, anxiety, loneliness, or racing thoughts can quietly keep your mind alert while your body lies still. Mr. Raymond began keeping a sleep journal, writing down what time he went to bed, how often he woke up, what he ate, and how he felt the next morning. With this information, his doctor was able to make simple suggestions: move his dinner earlier, limit liquids after 7 p.m., do gentle stretches before bed, and use a white noise machine to mask household sounds. Within a couple of weeks, his sleep improved. Not longer, but deeper. "I didn't know how shallow my sleep had become," he said. "Now when I wake up, I feel like I actually slept." To improve sleep quality, consistency is key. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Create a calming bedtime routine. Dim the lights, play soft music, or sip a cup of warm herbal tea. Avoid screens, TV, phone, tablet, for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light can disrupt melatonin production. If you wake often to use the bathroom, limit fluids in the evening, and talk to your doctor about bladder health. And if you snore heavily, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted during the day despite a full night's sleep, you may want to be checked for sleep apnea, which is more common in seniors than many realize. Good sleep is not a luxury, it's a foundation for every part of health. Without it, your body doesn't recover, your brain doesn't focus, and your mood begins to sink. But the encouraging news is this: even small improvements to sleep hygiene can lead to major gains in daily energy and quality of life. So if you've been waking up tired or needing naps that don't seem to help, it's worth looking beyond how many hours you sleep and start asking how deeply you sleep. Because true rest isn't just about closing your eyes. It's about giving your body a chance to heal, rebuild, and prepare you for another day full of life. In the next section, we'll explore a surprising but simple reason many older adults feel weak and sluggish. And it's something you might not even realize you're missing. Water. Let's talk about how dehydration may be draining your energy more than you think. Number 5, dehydration, the overlooked fatigue factor. Mrs. Sylvia, an 80-year-old grandmother from Arizona, prided herself on staying organized. Her pillbox was always filled, her fridge neatly stocked, and her calendar full of visits with family. But in recent months, she began to feel constantly drained. Her muscles felt heavy, her thinking slower, and her energy vanished by mid-morning. "I thought maybe my blood pressure was off, or my heart," she said. But after a full checkup, her doctor asked a surprisingly simple question: How much water are you drinking each day? Sylvia paused and realized she didn't really know. Dehydration is one of the most common but overlooked causes of fatigue in older adults. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable. You may not feel thirsty even when your body needs fluids. At the same time, many seniors intentionally drink less water to avoid frequent trips to the bathroom, especially at night. Combine this with medications like diuretics or certain health conditions, and dehydration slowly becomes a daily reality, quietly draining your energy without obvious signs. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, confusion, dry mouth, and that overall feeling of being off. When your body doesn't have enough fluid, your blood volume decreases, making it harder for your heart to pump oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, especially to the brain and muscles. That's why low fluid levels can make you feel tired, foggy, and physically weak, even if you're otherwise healthy. What makes this so tricky is that many seniors confuse dehydration with aging. You might think it's normal to feel sluggish in the afternoon or to have muscle aches or brain fog, when in fact your body may simply be asking for water. In Sylvia's case, her doctor encouraged her to track her fluid intake for a few days. She realized she was drinking only 2 or 3 small cups of fluid each day, far below what her body needed. She began keeping a water bottle near her chair and sipping throughout the day. She added broth to her lunches, ate more fruits like watermelon and oranges, and even made a habit of drinking a glass of water before each meal. "Within a week, she said, I felt like someone plugged me back in. My legs moved easier, I wasn't as foggy, and I didn't feel so wiped out all the time." So how much should older adults drink? While recommendations vary, a good rule of thumb is around 6 to 8 cups, 48 to 64 ounces, of fluids per day, unless otherwise directed by your doctor. That can include water, herbal tea, clear soup, and even water-rich foods like cucumbers, melon, and leafy greens. If plain water feels boring, try adding a slice of lemon, mint, or cucumber for flavor. And don't forget that alcohol and caffeine can dehydrate you, so it's best to limit those or follow them with water. One helpful trick is to pair drinking with daily routines. For example, a glass of water when you wake up, one with each meal, and one in the early afternoon. Keep a cup or bottle nearby throughout the day so you're reminded to sip, not just gulp when you feel thirsty. If you've been feeling tired, foggy, or achy, and haven't been drinking much water, dehydration might be playing a bigger role than you think. It's one of the easiest things to fix, and yet it makes a dramatic difference in how you move, think, and feel. Next, we'll explore another fatigue factor that might surprise you, one that many seniors don't even consider because it sounds like the opposite of what they expect: lack of movement. Because sometimes doing too little is what's making you feel too tired. Number 6. Lack of movement, fatigue from inactivity. Mr. Harold, an 84-year-old former truck driver from Iowa, used to spend his days on the move. Whether it was hauling freight, mowing the lawn, or tinkering with his tools in the garage, staying active was second nature. But after retiring, and especially after a minor fall, Harold began spending more time in his recliner. "It just felt safer," he said, "and I figured my body needed rest." But instead of feeling more rested, he felt more tired. His legs became stiff, his energy dipped, and even short walks to the mailbox began to feel exhausting. He couldn't understand how doing less could leave him feeling even more worn out, until his doctor explained that inactivity itself can be a major cause of fatigue. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. The less you move, the more tired you feel. That's because movement is essential to almost every system in your body. When you stop moving, your circulation slows, muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and your body becomes less efficient at producing and using energy. Even your mitochondria, the little power plants inside your cells, begin to reduce their output. The result is a creeping, chronic fatigue that has nothing to do with overexertion and everything to do with disuse. Unfortunately, many older adults fall into this cycle without realizing it. A small injury, a new medication, a bad weather week, and before you know it, movement becomes occasional instead of daily. You might sit more, nap more, or avoid walking out of fear of falling or discomfort. But when your muscles aren't engaged regularly, they weaken at a surprising pace, especially in the legs. This not only reduces your strength and balance, but it also affects your metabolism, mood, and even brain function. Mr. Harold's doctor recommended starting slow, just 5 minutes of walking twice a day, even if it was just around the house. Over time, he added light stretching and gentle leg exercises using a sturdy chair. At first, I felt silly exercising in my living room, he admitted, but after a week, I felt a difference. My knees weren't as stiff. I didn't feel so foggy in the afternoons. I even started sleeping better. Even low-impact movement can have powerful benefits. Walking, light yoga, tai chi, water aerobics, or simply standing and sitting repeatedly in a sturdy chair help boost circulation, release endorphins, and improve energy levels naturally. And when paired with proper hydration and nutrition, the effects multiply. Movement also stimulates your digestive system, helps regulate blood sugar, and supports joint flexibility, all of which contribute to a greater sense of vitality and less fatigue. It's also important to understand that movement doesn't have to be formal exercise. Sweeping the porch, watering plants, dancing to a favorite song, or even folding laundry while standing all count as meaningful activity. The key is consistency and keeping your body in motion every day, even in small ways. If you've been feeling sluggish, stiff, or stuck in low energy mode, ask yourself, how much have I really been moving? Not just walking to the bathroom or kitchen, but truly engaging your muscles and joints? If the answer is not much, then try adding just a little intentional movement each day. Your body may surprise you with how quickly it responds, with more energy, better sleep, and renewed strength. In the next section, we'll explore a part of fatigue that often gets ignored, because it's not about the body at all. Sometimes the exhaustion we feel comes not from what we eat or how we sleep, but from what we carry in our hearts and minds. Coming up next, emotional fatigue, stress, loneliness, and mental drain. Number 7, emotional fatigue, stress, loneliness, and mental drain. Mrs. Elaine, an 81-year-old widow living alone in Oregon, couldn't explain the kind of tiredness she felt. Her doctor told her she was healthy, her blood work looked good, and her sleep schedule was regular. She wasn't physically ill, but each day felt heavy. "I'm not just tired in my body," she said softly. "I'm tired in my soul." After losing her husband 3 years earlier, and with her children living out of state, Elaine's days had grown quiet. Too quiet. She spent long hours in silence, replaying memories, worrying about the future, and wondering if the emptiness she felt was normal, or if something deeper was going on. What Elaine was experiencing wasn't just sadness, it was emotional fatigue. The kind of weariness that doesn't come from lack of sleep or physical effort, but from the weight of thoughts, feelings, and isolation. And for many people over 60, it's a silent struggle. We often talk about nutrition, exercise, and sleep as causes of low energy, but our emotional life matters just as much. Loneliness, grief, anxiety, and mental overload can quietly chip away at your energy reserves until you feel like you're dragging yourself through each day, even if you haven't done much at all. Emotional fatigue often hides behind simple statements like, "I just don't feel like myself anymore," or "I'm fine, just tired." But the signs go deeper: lack of motivation, difficulty concentrating, loss of interest in things you once enjoyed, and a desire to withdraw from others. You might feel irritable, overwhelmed by small tasks, or numb to the world around you. And unlike physical fatigue, no nap can fix it. One of the biggest contributors to emotional fatigue in older adults is loneliness. As we age, social circles often shrink. Friends pass away, families move, routines change. Even those who live with others can feel emotionally alone. Add in major life transitions, retirement, health changes, or loss of independence, and it's easy to see how the mind and heart can become worn out. Elaine's turning point came not through medicine, but through connection. Her daughter encouraged her to join a local senior center just once a week. At first, she was hesitant. "What if I don't know anyone?" she asked. But after just a few visits, she began to smile more. She started attending a poetry group, then a low-impact exercise class. Slowly, the weight began to lift. "I didn't even realize how much I needed to talk to people," she said, "to laugh again, to be seen." Supporting your emotional well-being doesn't require big changes, just intentional moments of connection and care. This might look like calling a friend, writing in a journal, taking a walk outdoors, listening to music that moves you, or joining a small community activity. If you're feeling persistently down or anxious, speaking with a counselor or doctor can also help. Mental health is just as real and just as important as physical health. And asking for help is not weakness, it's strength. Another helpful practice is limiting mental overload. Many seniors carry quiet burdens, worrying about their children, finances, or the state of the world. These worries can spin endlessly in the background and drain you without you realizing it. Creating moments of calm through meditation, prayer, reading, or even simply breathing deeply in a quiet space can reset your emotional energy and help you feel more grounded. If you've been tired in a way that goes beyond the physical, if your heart feels heavy or your thoughts feel like they're constantly running, please know this: you're not alone, and what you're feeling is valid. Emotional fatigue is real, but it's also treatable, manageable, and temporary when you begin to nurture the part of you that needs connection, meaning, and care. Now that we've uncovered how your emotions can deeply impact your energy, it's time to bring everything together. In the final section, we'll reflect on what we've learned and how even small changes, one at a time, can lead to a more energized, joyful, and empowered life. Conclusion. So now we've seen that fatigue after 60 isn't always about getting older. It's about what's happening underneath the surface. From low iron levels that silently steal your strength, to thyroid slowdowns that sap your metabolism, to skipping breakfast or forgetting to hydrate. There are many hidden reasons why your body might be running on empty. Add in poor sleep, too little movement, and the emotional weight of stress or loneliness. And it's no wonder so many seniors feel tired before the day even begins. But here's the most important truth. You're not stuck this way. Fatigue is not your new normal. It's a signal, a gentle nudge from your body that something needs care, attention, or change. And the beauty is, many of these changes are small. A little more protein at breakfast, a short walk after lunch, a few sips of water throughout the day, a call to a friend, a question to your doctor. These aren't massive overhauls. They're simple acts of support, and they can make a real difference. The body is incredibly responsive, even in our 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond. When you give it what it needs, it rewards you with clarity, steadiness, and energy you thought was long gone. Your fatigue doesn't define you, and it doesn't have to control you. You deserve to feel strong, awake, and fully alive. Not just sometimes, but every single day. So take a moment today to check in with yourself. Ask, what's one thing I can do differently? One small step to support my energy and well-being? Because when you start listening to your body, gently, consistently, you begin the journey back to feeling like yourself again. Thank you so much for being here. You're doing something powerful by simply paying attention to your health. And remember, it's never too late to feel better, stronger, and more in control of your life. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.